Hello and thank you very much for tuning in to my YouTube channel, Historical Rifles. Today we want to take a look at a Chilean model 1935 carbine, which was also often called Carabineros carbine because, as the name suggests, it was used by the elite corps Carabineros. So let's get a closer look. Let's start at the front. We have a dovetail driftable front sight with some big protection ears. It was driftable, but it was a little bit different than the usual front sights. It is not driftable left and right because the cutout to drift is diagonally. So you could drift it, but in a diagonal way. This is most likely due to the protection ears, so you could not drift it left and right. I do like the protection ears very much. They give you enough protection when you bump into something, but they are still open at the top, so it doesn't take away any light. It is triangle shaped, as you see. In my opinion, this is a very well thought out front sight, and it gives you a great side picture. And what is also very nice is that as those ears are so big and thick, you won't mistake it for the actual sight when aiming. So this really works very well. Then let's move on. We have a standard bayonet lock, nothing special. Then we have front barrel band, which is the H shape, as is quite usual for Mauser rifles. And usually you would have a cleaning rod here at the bottom, but mine is sadly still missing, and I didn't find a replacement one yet, as those are quite difficult to find, as you have to look out for the correct length and the correct model, and I was not able to find one yet, but I won't give up. So then let's move on. You have a barrel band here with two sling attachment points. We have one here at the bottom. It's for the quick release system, and you have here an attachment point at the side. It's a fixed ring. Then we move on to the handguard. You have a handguard at the top, which is quite nice, so you won't touch the hot barrel when you do continuous fire. The stock part goes from the second barrel band up to the receiver ring. Then we move on to the rear sight. It's a tangent leaf rear sight. It is graduated from 100 meters to 1400 meters. It's quite a small range compared to some other rifles, but it is more than enough for a carbine, and actually in real life, as some were graduated more than 2000 meters, I'm not sure if you could really hit anything at those ranges, because if you ever try to shoot ranges greater than, let's say, 300 meters with iron sights, it gets really difficult to aim and you hardly see anything. So this is more than enough, in my opinion, and makes way more sense than graduating them to 2000 meters or more. To adjust the rear sight, you have a button here. Press the button, move it forward. Forward is range increased, backwards is range decreased, and the rear sight is a V-notch. I will try to get a side picture of it. You have here the V-notch. We can adjust it a little bit so you can see it better. And to aim, you would have to align it with the front sight. I hope you can see it. It's not so easy to get it on camera, but in my opinion, it really is a great sight setup. Then let's move on to the action. It's a standard Mauser turn bolt action. Nothing special. Cock on open. This means when you open the bolt, it will get cocked. You have an indicator here at the back. When it is outside, it is in cocked position. And when it is inside, it is decocked. To decock the rifle, you just pull the trigger, open up, pull the trigger, and close it, and it is decocked. And the indicator shows that it is not cocked. Then you have the usual flag safety. Left side is firing position. Top. Oh, sorry, you have to cock it to flip it. Top position means you cannot fire, but you can still operate the bolt. And right position is safe position, bolt locked, unable to fire. System works fantastic in my opinion. Okay, then you have the usual Mauser box magazine for 5 rounds. And this model does not have a bolt lock open. It has here a small cut. And this means that even when the last round has been fired, you could operate the bolt freely. A lot of Mauser models have a bolt lock open feature indicating when the last round has been fired that you need to reload. So usually you would not be able to close the bolt, but in this case you can. I think this boils down to pretty much personal preference. I personally think that the bolt lock open feature does make sense to indicate you have to reload, because if you don't have any indication, you might just close the bolt in a stress situation and think that you still have a round, and then you would fire empty, which could actually be fatal. So it, in my opinion, it does make sense. If you don't have a lock open feature, you would basically have to count yourself the rounds after 5 rounds that you would have to reload, which is, I guess, not very useful in a stressful combat situation. To load the rifle, you use those Mauser 5-round stripper clips. In this case, you have to use the model with the 2 bumps on the side. And I think I already mentioned it in another video. Make sure to use the one specifically for 7mm, not the ones for 6.5mm for the Swedes, because they don't work very well, and they are indeed a little bit different. The South American 7mm or also the Spanish 7mm stripper clips work best with 7mm Mausers. Caliber is actually 7x57 Mauser. This one is a modern cartridge, in this case produced by Gecko. You can still buy those. It's still a standard cartridge here in Europe. And we also have some snap caps for demonstration for safety reasons, and I will show you the loading procedure. To load the stripper clip, just I usually put in the first one at the bottom, then flip it over, and then put in 1 round after another. Stripper clip is loaded. To load the rifle, open the bolt. Here you have a cutout at the receiver bridge. You put it in, push down the cartridges into the magazine. You could actually in real life just move forward the bolt and the clip would get ejected, but as I don't have a lot of those 7mm clips, I put it out manually to not damage it. When you close the bolt, the first round will be moved into the chamber and you are actually ready to fire. If you want to eject the rounds, spent or full rounds, doesn't matter, just open the bolt and you can eject them. And as you see, magazine is empty and I can still close the bolt because I don't have a bolt lock open feature. So I will decock the rifle. It's not cocked anymore. And I think, let's see what the markings look like. We have on the receiver ring, I hope you can see it in the camera, we have two crossed rifles. Then we have at the top Chile. Then here below the crossed rifle, it is Orden Y Patria and model Modelo 1935, indicating the actual model. On this side we have some acceptance marks, and here we have the serial number, which says Serie C.CH. and I guess it means serial number Carbine Chile, Carbine or Carbine, depends on how you pronounce it. And then you have the 4-digit serial number. Mine one is actually a matched rifle. All serial numbers are matching. You can also find, as usual with the Mausers, here for example is the serial number, and on parts where there's not enough space, they just use the last 2 digits to mark them. Here on the side rail you have a manufacturer marking which says Mauserwerke Oberndorf, and on the receiver bridge, I hope you can see it, it's the Mauser banner. So to release or to move out the bolt assembly, as usual you have this lever, you push it outwards and just move it out, and the bolt assembly has been released. To put it in, you do the same procedure backwards, and that's it. So then let's move on. We still have some stuff to cover. We have here more sling attachment points. We have one at the bottom here. It's this quick release attachment system. We have also here the same, which is, I guess, for parade situations. And we have the most prominent, which is here at the wrist. It's a little bit unusual to mount this at the wrist because it could get into the way when you fire, but it is still okay. If you grab it, it won't really disturb you, just a little bit. We have 2 attachment points here. We have the one for carbine carrying, and we have this additional hook. And this one was used to attach the rifle to the horse saddle, because this carbine was used when horse riding. So the rifle was fixed to the horse and won't get missing. You could attach it here. Okay, let's move on. We have here a semi-pistol grip, which I actually prefer. There is also some rifles, I think we did a video some time ago about the Brazilian a 1922 model. It had a straight wristed stock. I actually prefer the semi-pistol grips, but it also, I think, boils down to personal preference. Then we have, let's turn the camera a bit. Then we have the standard metal butt plate. Nothing special here. Usually I read that on the left side there was a national crest and the number 1935, but mine one has seen a lot of action and is a little bit worn off. I just think that I can see a little bit here of the remains, but it's not visible anymore. And on the right side of the stock there is this identification disc, but mine does not have any markings. It's just the empty disc. It might have been replaced over the time, I'm not sure. So that's pretty much it concerning the features. My overall opinion of this rifle is it is a great rifle. Actually, it's one of my absolute favorite Mauser rifles or carbines. It's at the top for me, right where the Brazilian 9035 and Brazilian 1908/34 models. Those are, in my opinion, the best thought out rifles. I really love the caliber. Caliber is 7x57 Mauser. It is easier to shoot. It doesn't have that much kick than, for example, the 8x57 Mauser, but I'm really sure it still did the job. It also has a very flat trajectory, which is great when you have, so you don't have to change the sights so much when you fire over longer ranges. And you can also tell this by, when you see here, the tangent leaf sight, it just has a little bent curve here. And even when you set the sight to 1400, it only moves up a little bit. This usually indicates that the trajectory of the rifle or of the round of the ammunition is very flat, which is good, which is really good in combat situations. So overall, a great, I would even say a fantastic Mauser rifle, great layout, very modular. You could carry it over the shoulder, or you could also carry it over the back when you attach it here at the side. Over the shoulder you attach it at the bottom, so it is quite modular. It's not that heavy, it's okayish, I would say, and it's a really handy carbine. So if you get the chance, I would suggest to pick it up. They do turn up from time to time. They are not that rare, but they are quite rare to get in a good condition and also in a matching complete condition, as those were used a lot by the Chilean Carabineros for quite some time. So that's pretty much it from my end. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed my content. It would be really nice if you could give me a like and also subscribe to my channel. It does help a lot. And thank you very much for your time. Bye bye.